I was working on my some videos today. I'm down here in my art lab, working on videos and emails to everybody and messing around. And I was working on a little exercise for my beginning painters, and I got to thinking about the idea of intuition. And I got to thinking about, I wasn't sure if I had made a video talking about intuition much, and I think it's something I do talk about kind of in between things in the videos I made, but I think it's kind of a good idea to talk about intuition more directly. We tend to think of intuition as being something that we use a lot when it comes to making art. I can remember when I was an art student and we'd always talk about intuition, and a lot of times it was sort of related to, it almost was like guessing on something. It was like the word we would use when we didn't know what else to say, or the idea that we would use, we didn't know what ideas we were going after. And so there's a kind of a fakiness to the idea of intuition, I think, that sort of subverts the reality of the need to respond to circumstances intuitively. I like to, when I discuss intuition, I like to think of athletes, like especially baseball players, because I think there's a baseball player or football player, tennis player, whatever, they respond to the circumstances very intuitively. They allow their body to react to things that are happening just almost instantaneously. And I think for a painter, it's a very, very similar kind of thing. You work on your painting and you have these ideas about what you want the painting to be, but then your intuition kind of takes over and you respond to more about what is happening in front of you versus what your plan is. But the thing about intuition is it requires a lot of training. It's not something that you're born with, this intuitive understanding of what painting is. It requires a lot, like baseball, swinging a bat, everybody can kind of swing something, but baseball players train for years and years and years to hone their craft, how to swing a bat properly to make a hit. And they never stop honing their craft. They keep practicing how to swing a bat. And the same is true for a painter. So I was working on this exercise, and I was starting to mix color, and I was kind of thinking, well, why am I doing this? And I realized, well, that was my intuition. I was just kind of working, on something as a demo, and realized that the students watching the demo probably don't really understand why I'm mixing this little bit of white in with the blue and all that. And again, it was my intuitive reasoning functioning to work on this very simple demo. So the thing about intuition is you have to have an understanding of your craft and your medium and your materials and your own kind of physical responses to things before that intuition can be useful. And I think with a lot of beginning painters, you all just don't have that. You're developing it as every mark you make, every thought you have about your art, every painting you look at helps fill that intuitive knowledge, helps fill that well that you can then draw from for your whole life. But you got to keep filling that well. It's not something that you just, finish doing and then that's it. I'm still looking at art. I'm still thinking about art. It's critically important for me to keep, and I keep learning. Even this painting demo I was working on, I learned some things about painting from it that I'll try to remember. It'll kind of be part of my intuitive reasoning. So what you do now, I think, though, is a lot of students try to control circumstances because they really don't have any kind of an intuitive understanding about what they're making. So you reach for control. So you might have a photograph you want to work from, or you might try drawing on the canvas first and then filling it in. You try to control your materials. I think too much. Allow yourself to just make tons of mistakes and make really crappy paintings, and make, out of all that there'll be some good things. But remember, even if you're doing something really bad or you hate it, it still is filling that intuitive understanding of your craft and your medium, and it's an important process to go through. Even at the beginning stages, there's a lot of stuff you're doing that it's kind of inexplicable. Why am I doing this? I'm making you do something. There's no grand scheme here. I just make up random stuff to help you sort of develop that intuitive understanding of your craft and medium. So there's no big overarching plan.